Hey guys, welcome back. It is round one of the Trans Tasman competition. If you missed the Friday preview, it will be linked up here and you can also find it at the end of the video. If you're not interested in all the games, you can also find the timestamps in the description below, or also just scroll down here and go to the appropriate video. Let's get into the first game, which is the Crusaders versus the Brumbies, which is the biggest one on Saturday in my opinion. The front row, I think, is a big battle there. The two brothers that haven't played against each other in a long time and will probably not play against each other in a long time again, with Michael Alaalatoa going overseas. Alan Alaalatoa, he's been scrumming so well for the Brumbies, the captain of the side as well. Michael Alaalatoa scrumming well, but not as well as you probably know him from previous seasons. Cody Taylor, you have to mention him here. It is his 100th game for the Crusaders. He's captaining the side as well. And it is a big game because he is up against the Brumbies' maul try master in Falau Fainga, who was on the bench for the final last week. Probably one of those key decisions that probably didn't go their way too much. Scott Seo, also a very strong scrummager for the Brumbies there. The second row for the Brumbies, it's also a bit different there. With Swain joining Frost. Frost moving from number 6 to his preferred position in number 5. That was also a strange call to put him on number 6. Another one of those ones that I thought was strange, putting him in the final on number 6. So they put Stowers in that position. Stowers made his debut last week, and when he came off of the bench, really good, the ex-Force player. The Crusaders also have a change in their lock partnership, with Danche coming in at number 4, joining Whitelock. Danche, I think it's his first start this season. I've always been impressed by him, especially at his ability to block mauls, and this one is going to be important, especially against the Brumbies, because that is where they fire a lot from. Whitelock at number 5. Last week he showed what he can do in a final. Number 6, Blackadder. He's been impressive this season. So has Sanders at number 7. Rory Scott at number 7 for the Brumbies. Valentini, really a guy to look out for the Brumbies. He's probably the in-form loose forward in Australia at the moment. Just such a hard runner off the ball. Cullen Grace, he's at number 8. Bryn Hall and Lonorgan, both of them come in as the new number 9s for the week. So we'll see how it goes for them in this round. Bryn Hall, he is a bit faster for the Crusaders in my opinion. Lonorgan, he has a massive boot, so look out for him. He can slot massive penalties for the Brumbies if needs be. But judging from the two sides, these two teams usually take a penalty and go for a try instead of going for poles. Going to number 10s, Noah Lolasio versus Mohunga. Mohunga just bossing every number 10 so far this season he's played against so far. So now he's against the young Australian. Lolasio has also been good so far for the Brumbies. This is a new challenge though, because Mohunga is at a next level number 10 that he's faced this season. Simone at number 12 versus Havili. Havili has been in brilliant form as well at number 12, his new position this season around, just bossing everyone around as well. They finding a lot of gaps for the guys around him as well. Simone, also a brilliant season at number 12, joined by Ikitau. Braden Enor at number 13. Last week was his first game back from injury. Good to have him back in the starting team as well. On the wings, there's two guys coming in as well. Kata, I think it's his first game this season. I can't remember seeing him so far. Matehele, he's also on number 14 for the Crusaders. They also have Fainga Anuku, who shifts from number 13 to 11 for the Crusaders. Very, very strong runner there. I actually thought they're going to use him a little bit more at number 13. They're talking about him as the guy moving forward for the All Blacks. Tom Wright at number 11. Tom Banks at number 15. George Bridge, I can't recall seeing him much at number 15. He shifts from 11 to number 15. On the benches, there's only a few guys to really look out for the Brumbies. Lonorgan, he had one start last week. It was his first start for the team, and it was in a final. Other guys to look out for is maybe Fines Lelawasa. The teenager Positoa is also very good. Then for the Crusaders, they have a very strong front row that comes in the form of McAllister, Williams, and Jaeger. Scott Barrett, very strong guy to bring off of the bench as well. And then they have the prolific try scorer in Sevu Rees. Guys, going into prediction time here, you can see history-wise, it is so much in the side of the Crusaders. Also, going back into history, the Brumbies haven't beaten the Crusaders in Christchurch since 2000. Yes, 21 years ago, and I don't think it's going to happen this week again. I think the Crusaders to win this one by 12 points. Let me know your prediction for this one in the comments below. Let's move on to the next game, which is the Rebels versus the Blues. Renata comes in the front row for the Blues in this one. Tuina Kwafe is the other prop, and they are facing quite a strong propping combination as well. Elof, the South African, has been tearing things apart over there in Australia. Just a very big guy. Or at number 1, Ulysses at number 2 versus Eklund. Both of them pretty similar number 2s as well. Not that one of them have really stood out as the best number 2s really in the season. Kauli Tuioti at number 4 versus Leota. Goodyew comes in at number 5 for some experience because they needed a guy against a guy like Haylett Petty. So like for like there. In the loose forwards, you have Tom Robinson versus Kameni and Hardwick. Hardwick is a hard player to bring down. Chout is at number 7. I still do think Akira Ioane should be in that number 7 jersey because for some reason he is on the bench, and that does make them lack a little bit. So Tutu, such a hard runner of the ball as well, up against Wells. Finley Christie, who's been starting most of the season. I still think Knock is probably the best 9 the Blues have. Up against Joe Powell, who's have had a new lease on life at the Rebels so far this season. Joined by Matt Tumua, who's also been brilliant. He's made very good tries this season. He's also been very solid with the boot, kicking his conversions as well. Otere Black, he's been bossing things around at number 10 as well for the Blues. Also kind of solidifying his position there. The one game that they didn't play, they did lose, and that really cost them. TJ Fayane at number 12. I know why he is in, because they need some strength at number 12, because a guy like Magne, that is 2 guys that's going to run into each other somewhere in this game. Ili at number 13 versus Rico Ioane. Very quick guy at number 13 for the Blues. They can score a try any time of the day. AJ Lamb, he comes in at number 11 for the Blues. That is because Clark is joining the Sevens team for New Zealand. Curry Betty at number 11. He's had such a strong season all over the park, but he's not scored too many tries, and that's been a bit of a problem for the Rebels, not scoring too many tries. Lomani at number 14, you might remember him as a scrum half. These days, he's a very, very quick winger. Bryce Heem at number 14, Zahn Sullivan getting his second game for the Blues at number 15, with Pincus at number 15 for the Rebels. That Rebels backline does miss guys like Hodge and Haylett Petty at this stage, and it might make them struggle against a pretty powerful Blues backline. The big names to look out for on the bench, that 2 All Blacks in the front row in Tunga Fasi and Laulala. That's just such strong guys to bring onto the park, and that just strengthens their side any day of the week. Vakena, the youngster, has also done really well in the hooker as well. Gibbon and Sordoni, they have a big task. Sordoni, the Argentinian, they will have a big task in this one. Akira Ioane, also a big guy to bring on for the Blues. Sam Knock, he also brings some speed to the game there. So a strong bench for the Blues in those key players. The Rebels, the only guys I can really list as people that you have to look out for is the Sevens player, Lucky Anderson, at number 13. He's just so quick and big. He can just change a game around when he gets the ball. But further than that, their bench might struggle against the Bluesers. So for me, I do think the Rebels are going to struggle in this one as well. Another New Zealand call for me in this one. If you do look at the betting odds as well, most of them go for New Zealand sides as well. So for me, Blues to win this one by 9 points. Let me know your prediction for that one as well down in the comments. And let's get into the last game of the weekend, which is actually one I'm quite excited for, in the Force and the Chiefs, just because the Force have so many international stars that probably have never played against these New Zealand teams, so I'm just excited for most of that. The Chiefs, they also have the same thing of a lot of these finals teams, that they lost a couple of their big names since the final, or they're resting a couple of them. Harris, he's in at number 2. I have to say, in the couple of games that he did play, his throwing at line-out time was struggling. On the other hand, Kaitu'u, his throwing has been brilliant so far, and he has 2 very good locks to throw into as well. The scrumming for the Force also been a brilliant job in Robertson and Medrano, the Argentinian. So it could be a strong game there, especially because the Chiefs also have a strong scrum in Ross and Ta'avao. In number 4, the youngster Lord, who's also a brilliant carrier of the ball, just like Vai. The Chiefs, they have these locks that just run all over the park and get a lot of crazy offloads on the park. The New Zealander Thrush, he's at number 4 with Fergus Lee Warner at number 5 this week around. So Akula at number 6 versus Anstey, both of them very strong carriers of the ball. Boshia, he was just amazing last week, just stealing so many balls for the team. Unfortunately, in the final, that was just not enough. Koteka, he has his hands full there. Breinhard Stander, the very strong carrying South African at number 8 versus Jacobson. Brad Webber at number 9, the captain, versus Thomas Kubali, who's been a captain for a couple of teams in his life. So that's some leadership skills at number 9 there. The big game that I do think is going to be Damien McKenzie versus McIntyre. Damien McKenzie, he moves again from 15 to 10. So obviously in the couple of games that they have seen now, they probably want Damien McKenzie rather to have a bigger running game against the Force. McIntyre being in, I think this might be the Achilles heel for the Force. Yes, he comes back from injury. Don't know how a lot of fans are going to be when I say that, but Miotti, he's been pulling the strings this whole season since getting starts with Kubeli, and this is going to be a bit of a problem for them. I think McIntyre, he was good when he was playing, but Miotti was just brilliant and slotted most of his kicks over as well. Strong carrying Nankiville versus strong carrying Taefu at number 12. Also another change in the backline where Godwin moves from number 12 to 13. Also a change. Every game that Godwin has played at number 12 so far, the Force have played really well. But you have to also see it as Godwin versus Anton Leonard-Brown. They might see something there, but I was really looking forward to Kahui versus Anton Leonard-Brown. That's like the past versus the present, and I really just wanted to see that. Unfortunately, we don't see Kahui playing in his better position currently. His better position currently is probably center. He's on the wing this time around. He's not that quick anymore, but very strong tackler still. He faces Jonah Lowe on the wing. Olo Afela, the guy that can just score tries out of nothing, very quick, up against Stevenson, who's getting little game time these days. At number 15, the exciting Tia Tia is at number 15, and I just want to see more of this combination where DMAC is number 10 and Tia Tia at number 15, because they just make a lot of moves when that does happen. Then I'm also excited to see Rob Carney, the Irishman, also getting a start here, getting a bit of experience against New Zealand teams. I want to see what he does in this game. I think it's going to be a special one for him. On the two benches, both are pretty strong. I have to say that as well. The Force, they have a very strong front row that comes on with Reddy, Wagner and Holmes, and that's been holding them down for most of the season in good positions. Takiao, he's in number 16. I would have probably started him, but they probably wanted to rest him a little bit this week around. Then there's also serious experience in the form of Liam Messam at number 20. That's now probably friends with Richard Kahui there. Bryn Gatland at number 22 as well. So that's the key guys on the Chiefs' bench. For the Force, that's at front, that front row of theirs. Ian Pryor as well with a lot of experience. And then Domingo Miotti, who I already said has been pulling a lot of strings when playing next to Kubeli. Guys, getting into predictions, the history does favor the Chiefs here. It is being played in Perth. The Force do actually up the ante when they are playing at home. I do think they'll probably put together a pretty good game for most of it, but the Chiefs, they will be targeting to try and win this season. Since they didn't win the Aotearoa, they will try and actually get to the final again this time around in Trans Tasman. So I think the Chiefs to win this one as well by 7 points. Let me know your prediction for all of the games down in the comments below. Also, tell me if you think I am talking a bunch of nonsense, because I've just predicted all the New Zealand teams to win. Check out these videos next to me. Hit the subscribe button if you want to, and then I'll see you for the next one. Cheers.